The rooftop was bathed in a golden hue as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ethereal glow over the city skyline. Soft violin music played in the background, blending with the distant hum of Lagos traffic. The restaurant, an exclusive one on Victoria Island, had been closed for the evening, reserved for a special occasion. Lily's heart pounded in her chest as she stood in the middle of the candlelit rooftop, her delicate pink dress swaying in the evening breeze. Rose petals were scattered around the floor, the scent mixing with the aroma of expensive wine and fresh lilies, the very flowers she had been named after. She turned, her eyes meeting Richard's. He was down on one knee, holding up a sparkling diamond ring that caught the last rays of the setting sun. "Lily," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "from the moment I saw you, I knew you were special. You are kind, beautiful, intelligent, and the only woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Will you marry me?" Lily's hands flew to her mouth, tears welling in her eyes. Her heart swelled with joy, and she could barely breathe. Around them, a small group of their closest friends watched with bated breath. Anna was among them. Her lips curved into a smile, but her hands clenched the sides of her dress. Her eyes never left the sparkling ring, the kind of ring she had always dreamed of wearing. But Richard had chosen Lily. Richard had fallen for Lily. Just like every other good thing in life, it always went to Lily. "Yes. Yes, I will marry you," Lily finally gasped, extending her trembling hand. The crowd erupted in cheers. Richard slid the ring onto her finger, then rose to his feet, pulling her into a passionate embrace. He kissed her forehead, whispering sweet promises. Anna clapped along with the others, forcing a smile. "Congratulations, my dear Lily," she said, stepping forward to hug her friend. "You deserve all the happiness in the world." "Thank you, Anna," Lily beamed. "I'm so glad you're here." Anna's nails dug into Lily's back as they hugged. The following afternoon, Lily sat with her mother, Mrs. Okafor, in their spacious sitting room, sipping fresh fruit juice. The windows were open, letting in the cool afternoon breeze. Her mother, a woman in her 60s with sharp eyes and a mind even sharper, had a wary look as she listened to Lily gush about the proposal. "He really went all out, Mama," Lily said, twisting the engagement ring on her finger. "Everything was perfect, the view, the music, the way he looked at me. I know I made the right choice." Mrs. Okafor sighed, setting down her cup of tea. "I am happy for you, my daughter, but I am also worried." Lily frowned. "Worried? Why?" Her mother gave her a long, searching look. "Two things. First, do you really know this Richard well enough? Marriage is not just about a grand proposal. You need to be sure of the man you are committing your life to." Lily smiled reassuringly. "Mama, we've been dating for over a year. He is successful, caring, and he loves me. What else should I know?" Mrs. Okafor sighed again, rubbing her forehead. "Love is not enough, Lily. There are things hidden in a man's heart that take years to unravel. I have seen too many women rush into marriages, only to regret later." Lily chuckled. "Mama, I know you are just being protective, but Richard is a good man. You'll see." Mrs. Okafor didn't look convinced. "And then there is Anna." Lily's expression softened. "What about Anna?" Her mother's lips pressed together. "That girl. I have always felt something in my spirit about her. Have you not noticed how she reacts to your good fortune?" Lily's brows furrowed. "Mama, Anna is my best friend." "She is your oldest friend, yes," her mother corrected. "But is she truly happy for you? You have always been the one to shine, and she has always been in your shadow. How do you think that makes her feel?" Lily exhaled, shaking her head. "Mama, Anna has never given me any reason to doubt her. Yes, I know things tend to work out for me more, but she has never shown it openly," her mother interrupted. "But jealousy is like smoke, you may not see the fire, but you can smell the danger. Be careful." Lily sighed, placing her cup on the table. "I appreciate your concern, Mama. But Anna is family to me. She is like a sister." Her mother gave her a knowing look. Even Cain and Abel were siblings. Silence filled the room for a moment before Lily stood up. "It'll be fine, Mama. Richard loves me, and Anna is my friend. Everything will be okay." Mrs. Okafor watched her daughter with weary eyes, the pit in her stomach growing. "If you say so, my child," she murmured. But deep inside, she felt uneasy. She just prayed her daughter would not learn the truth the hard way. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share to support our little channel. Lily's life felt like a fairy tale in the weeks following the proposal. Richard spared no expense in treating her like a queen. Every day, she woke up to lavish surprises, a bouquet of red roses delivered to her doorstep, designer dresses waiting in her wardrobe, and candlelit dinners at the finest restaurants in Lagos. If love could be measured in luxury, then Lily was drowning in it. Anna was always by her side, smiling and cheering her on. But beneath her pleasant facade, a storm raged. The more she saw Lily being pampered, the more she resented her. Anna had always been the less admired one, the one who stood in Lily's shadow. If Lily walked into a room, people noticed. If Anna walked in, people noticed that Lily had arrived. And now, even in engagement, Lily was the center of attention, while Anna remained in the background, applauding. But not for long. She would make sure of that. A perfect afternoon. Anna, can you believe this? Lily giggled as she twirled in front of the mirror, admiring herself in a fitted green dress that hugged her curves in all the right places. Richard had this custom made for me. He said he saw the fabric in Dubai and thought it would look good on me. Anna sat on the plush cream sofa in Lily's bedroom, forcing a smile. It's beautiful. Lily turned to her with a radiant smile. Right? And look at these heels. She picked up a pair of sparkling Louboutin shoes. I swear, I'm the luckiest woman alive. Anna's fingers tightened around her phone. He really does spoil you. Lily plopped onto the bed beside her. I know, right? And guess what? He's taking me to Santorini for our honeymoon. Anna's stomach twisted. Wow, that's amazing. Lily sighed dreamily. I can't wait, Anna. I never thought I'd find someone like Richard. He's so loving, so generous. Sometimes, I wonder what I did to deserve this. Anna's smile barely held. What did you do to deserve this? You simply existed, and everything good just fell into your lap. Lily grabbed her hand. You'll be my maid of honor, right? Anna's heart sank. Standing beside Lily while she married a rich, handsome man? Watching her live the life Anna had always dreamed of? I'd be honored, she lied. Lily squealed and hugged her. Anna hugged her back, her face hidden, her eyes burning with an emotion she could no longer suppress. She had to do something. The opportunity came a few days later. Lily had left her phone on the table while she was in the bathroom. Anna picked it up, scrolling through her messages. She wasn't sure what she was looking for, but then she saw Richard's name and clicked on their chat. Baby, I sent you something special. Check your email. Can't wait to see you tonight. Anna's lips curled into a smirk. Richard had sent something special? She quickly opened Lily's email and saw a document titled Honeymoon Surprise. Without hesitation, she forwarded it to herself. Then she deleted the email from Lily's inbox. When Lily returned, Anna was sipping her juice, looking innocent. Did I get any messages? Lily asked, drying her hands. Anna shrugged. Nothing important. Lily picked up her phone, scrolling absently. I feel like Richard said he was sending me something, but I don't see anything. Anna took a casual sip of her drink. Maybe it didn't go through. Lily frowned, then shrugged. I'll ask him later. Anna smiled. Yes, you do that. But by then, it'll be too late. The little accidents. It started small. Lily's wedding dress fitting got mysteriously rescheduled, causing her to miss it. When she showed up, the designer had already left for another engagement. Oh no, Anna gasped dramatically when she heard. That's terrible. But don't worry, I'll help you find another time. Then Lily's bachelorette party venue was suddenly unavailable due to a booking error. Anna sighed. What a shame. But hey, we can always have it somewhere else. Lily was frustrated but didn't suspect a thing. I swear, the universe is playing tricks on me. Anna just smiled. Yes, the universe. Then she took it a step further. One evening, Lily sat in her living room, excitedly going through her wedding seating arrangements. Anna watched her with feigned interest. I can't wait, Lily said. Everything is coming together perfectly. Anna smirked. You haven't invited Cynthia yet? Lily's face fell. Cynthia? No. We haven't spoken in years. Why? Anna tilted her head. I just thought. Well, I heard she and Richard used to be close. Maybe she should be there. Lily's face darkened. What do you mean used to be close? Anna gasped, as if realizing she had said too much. Oh, I assumed you knew. They dated for a while. Nothing serious, but... Lily sat up straight. Richard dated Cynthia? And he never told me? Anna placed a hand on her heart. Oh Lily. I shouldn't have said anything. It's probably nothing.
Forget I mentioned it.
But it was too late. The seed was planted. That night, Lily confronted Richard about Cynthia. It turned into their first real fight. Anna was there the next day, pretending to comfort her. Men lie, Lily, she murmured, rubbing her back as Lily wiped tears. Just be careful. Sometimes, people aren't who they seem to be. Lily sighed. Maybe you're right. Anna smiled. Yes, I am. The final blow. Anna knew she had to push harder. One evening, she made an anonymous call to Lily. She used a different number, masking her voice. Lily, she whispered, do you really know who you're marrying? Lily's heart pounded. Who is this? Just someone who knows things, the voice said. Richard is not the man you think he is. He has secrets. Dangerous secrets. If you love your life, run. Lily's breath hitched. What are you talking about? But the line went dead. The next morning, Lily was a nervous wreck. Anna, pretending to be concerned, asked what was wrong. I got a strange call, Lily whispered. They said Richard has secrets. Anna's eyes widened. What? That's ridiculous. Lily swallowed. What if it's true? Anna sighed, shaking her head. Lily, if you have any doubts, maybe you should slow down. Maybe this wedding isn't the best idea. Lily's hands trembled. Anna squeezed them gently. I just want what's best for you. Lily looked at her, uncertainty clouding her face. Anna smiled sweetly. One more push, and she'll leave him. And then he'll be mine. Lily decided to ignore the nagging doubts in her mind. Anna's warnings, the strange phone call, even the fight with Richard over Cynthia, she brushed it all aside. Love wasn't perfect, and she had the man of her dreams. The wedding was nothing short of magical. The grand hall of the Eco Hotel was transformed into a wonderland of gold and white. Roses cascaded from the ceilings, chandeliers sparkled like diamonds, and a live orchestra played soft music as guests, dressed in their finest, watched the ceremony in awe. Lily was breathtaking in her custom-made wedding dress, a vision of elegance as she walked down the aisle. Richard, in a perfectly tailored black tuxedo, stood at the altar, watching her with an intense gaze that sent shivers down her spine. As she reached him, he took her hands, squeezing them tightly. You're mine forever now, he whispered. Lily smiled, thinking it was a romantic promise. When they exchanged vows, the room filled with emotion. Anna, standing beside Lily as the maid of honor, forced a smile as she clapped with everyone else. The jealousy burned her from the inside, but she swallowed it down. Not yet. Not yet. After the vows, the reception was a grand affair. Champagne flowed freely, guests danced in a lavishly decorated ballroom, and Richard spared no expense to make it a night no one would forget. You're the luckiest woman alive, one of Lily's friends gushed as they watched Richard from across the room. Lily smiled, feeling like a queen. But queens sometimes lived in castles with monsters. Santorini was a dream. Their private villa overlooked the endless blue waters of the Aegean Sea. Every morning, Richard surprised her with breakfast on the terrace, feeding her strawberries and whispering sweet words. They went on yacht rides, explored ancient ruins, and dined in the finest restaurants. You are my goddess, Richard would say, brushing his fingers along her cheek. I would do anything for you. Lily felt like she was living in a romance novel. She called her mother one evening, excitement bursting in her voice. Mama, you were wrong. Richard loves me. He treats me like a queen. Her mother was silent for a moment. Then she sighed. Lily, love is not only about the beginning. It is how it continues. Lily rolled her eyes. Mama, stop worrying. We are perfect together. But her mother's words would haunt her later. When they returned to Nigeria, things changed. It started small. Richard became distant. He no longer showered her with attention. When she tried to talk to him, he would dismiss her. I'm busy, Lily. Can't you see I have work? He stayed out late, sometimes not coming home at all. One evening, Lily decided to wait up for him. When he finally walked in at 2 a.m., his shirt slightly wrinkled, the smell of perfume lingering on him, she stood up from the couch, arms crossed. "Where have you been?" she demanded. Richard chuckled, pouring himself a drink. "Since when do I answer to you?" Lily's stomach twisted. "Richard, you're my husband. You don't come home for 2 days, and I shouldn't ask?" He looked at her, his expression darkening. "Are you questioning me?" She hesitated. His tone was sharp, unfamiliar. I just want to know where you were." Before she could react, his hand struck her across the face. The force sent her stumbling backward, her vision blurred from the impact. Richard towered over her, his eyes cold. "Don't ever raise your voice at me again." Lily clutched her cheek, shock paralyzing her. He had hit her. The man who once kissed her fingertips and called her a goddess had hit her. Tears welled in her eyes. Richard. But he simply downed his drink and walked to the bedroom, slamming the door shut. Lily sat on the floor, her mind spinning. Was this a mistake? A prison in her own home? Days turned into weeks, and things only got worse. Richard became a stranger. He would disappear for days without explanation. When he was home, he was cold, barely speaking to her. And when he did, his words cut like knives. "You're useless, Lily. You sit in this house all day, doing nothing." Lily flinched. "Richard, I left my job because you wanted me to. And now I regret it. Maybe if you had something to do, you wouldn't be so pathetic." The emotional abuse drained her, but the physical abuse was worse. One night, she accidentally spilled wine on his shirt. Before she could apologize, he grabbed her by the hair and yanked her to the floor. "Do you know how much this shirt costs?" Tears streamed down her face. "Richard, A sharp slap cut her off. "Shut up," he growled, before storming out of the house. Lily lay there, her body trembling. How had this happened? How had her fairy tale turned into a nightmare? One evening, she heard laughter coming from the living room. Richard hadn't spoken to her all day, so she was surprised to hear voices. Curious, she stepped out of the bedroom, then froze. 2 women sat on the couch, dressed in revealing outfits, giggling as Richard poured them drinks. He draped an arm around one of them, whispering something in her ear. She laughed, resting her hand on his thigh. Lily felt like she had been punched in the stomach. "Richard?" she called, her voice shaking. He turned, looking at her with irritation. "What?" She stared at the women, then back at him. "Who are they?" Richard smirked. "Guests." The women giggled. Lily felt her chest tighten. "You brought women into our home?" Richard rolled his eyes and stood up, walking towards her. He leaned in, his voice low and cruel. "This is my house, Lily. I will do whatever I want. If you don't like it, leave." Lily's heart shattered. Tears welled in her eyes, but she held them back. She wouldn't cry in front of them. She turned and walked away, but before she entered the bedroom, she heard Richard laughing. She thought marriage made her special. The women laughed along with him. Lily closed the door behind her and slid to the floor. The pain was unbearable. But somewhere deep inside her, a fire started to burn. This wasn't love. This was a trap. And she needed to find a way out. Lily stood in front of the mirror, applying a thin layer of foundation over the bruise on her cheek. She blended it carefully, making sure no one would see the evidence of Richard's rage from the night before. She took a step back and smiled at her reflection. Perfect. No one needed to know. Her life had to remain flawless, at least in the eyes of the world. Despite the nightmare her marriage had become, Lily maintained the image of a perfect, wealthy wife. She still attended charity galas in shimmering designer dresses. She still posted pictures on Instagram of expensive gifts Richard never actually gave her, gifts she bought herself to maintain the illusion. She smiled at friends, laughed at jokes, and pretended her life was everything a woman could wish for. And Anna? Anna watched it all, burning with envy. At brunch one afternoon, Lily arrived at the restaurant in a sleek red dress, her hair cascading down her shoulders. She greeted Anna with a dazzling smile and took her seat. "You're glowing," Anna said, forcing a smile. Lily chuckled, picking up her wine glass. "Marriage suits me, Anna. You should consider it." Anna's hands clenched around her fork. If only we could all be as lucky as you. Lucky. If only Anna knew. Anna had always been jealous of Lily, but lately, that jealousy had turned into something darker. She had watched Lily marry a rich man, live in a mansion, travel the world, and bask in luxury, all while she remained single, struggling to climb the social ladder. It didn't matter that she had also benefited from Lily's wealth, attending high-class parties, wearing expensive gifts Lily bought her, eating at the finest restaurants at Lily's expense. She wanted more. She wanted to be Lily. And worse, she wanted Lily to fall. One evening, Anna sat in her bedroom, scrolling through Lily's Instagram. The pictures of her happy life made Anna seethe. She threw her phone on the bed and stood up. Enough is enough. She had tried everything, gossiping about Lily, feeding Richard small lies, making herself more available to him. Nothing worked. Lily still had everything. Anna needed something stronger. The air was thick with the smell of incense as Anna entered the dimly lit shrine. A man sat cross-legged on a mat, his eyes half closed as he muttered incantations under his breath. Anna hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward. Baba, I need your help. The old man looked up, his gaze sharp. What do you seek? She swallowed. There's a woman. She has everything. I want to separate her from her husband. I want to take her place. The Baba chuckled, shaking his head. You women and your jealousy. Anna frowned. Can you help me or not? He studied her for a moment, then nodded. It can be done. But are you willing to pay the price? Anna leaned forward. Anything. The Baba took a calabash from the floor and placed it before her. You will perform a ritual. After this, their love will crumble. She will be thrown out like a stray dog, and you will have your chance. Anna's heart pounded with excitement. What do I need to do? The Baba smiled. Days later, things took a drastic turn in Lily's home. Richard's hatred toward her intensified. He no longer just ignored her, he despised her. One night, she cooked his favorite meal, hoping to rekindle some warmth between them. He took one bite, then spat it out. Are you trying to poison me? Lily's eyes widened. Richard, I. Before she could finish, he overturned the entire plate, sending food splattering onto the floor. I'm tired of you, Lily, he said coldly. I should have married someone else. Lily felt like she had been stabbed. A week later, Richard came home with a group of men, his lawyer, some security officers, and to Lily's horror, Anna. Richard threw a file at her feet. Sign the divorce papers and get out of my house. Lily's breath caught.
Richard.
What are you saying? Anna folded her arms, a smirk on her lips. He doesn't want you anymore, Lily. He deserves someone better. Lily turned to Richard, her heart breaking. Richard, please. I've been your wife, I've stood by you. You're nothing to me. Richard roared. I don't want you anymore. Take your things and go. Tears streamed down Lily's face. Anna stepped forward, lowering her voice so only Lily could hear. This is what happens when you take everything for granted. Now it's my turn. Lily clenched her fists, shaking with rage and devastation. But she was powerless. Richard had made up his mind. And just like that, the woman who had once been a queen in her palace was thrown into the streets like trash. Lily stood outside the grand gate of her former home, her suitcase beside her, her hands trembling as she rang the doorbell. The night air was cool, but her heart was burning with pain. She had been thrown out like a common beggar. The house she had decorated, the bed she had shared with her husband, the luxury she had once called hers, now belonged to someone else. To Anna. The betrayal cut deeper than a knife. The gate opened slowly, revealing her mother, Margaret. Margaret took one look at Lily, her swollen eyes, her trembling lips, the suitcase at her feet, and gasped. Lily? That was all it took. Lily broke down, sobbing uncontrollably as she fell into her mother's arms. Margaret held her tightly, stroking her back. Oh my baby, what did he do to you? Lily could only shake her head, the words stuck in her throat. Her mother helped her inside, guiding her to the couch as she continued to weep. Margaret wiped her tears. Tell me everything. Lily took a deep breath. Richard. He threw me out. Margaret's face darkened. What? Lily swallowed the lump in her throat. He doesn't love me anymore. He said I'm nothing to him. Her mother's lips trembled with anger. That wicked man. I knew he was no good for you. But you wouldn't listen. Lily dropped her head, fresh tears spilling. I loved him, Mama. Margaret let out a bitter laugh. Love? Look where love has brought you. I warned you about Anna, didn't I? Didn't I tell you she was jealous of you? And now look. She has taken everything from you. Lily flinched at the truth of her words. Anna. Her best friend. Her sister in everything but blood. She had been the one whispering in Richard's ear, the one fueling his hatred, the one who stood there victorious, as Lily was thrown out like garbage. And now, Anna was in her home, sleeping in her bed, wearing her clothes, living her life. Days turned into weeks, and Lily remained at her mother's house. She barely ate. She barely spoke. She spent most of her time staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment, every mistake, every sign she had ignored. She was no longer the glamorous, pampered wife of a billionaire. She was just Lily. One evening, her mother sat beside her, taking her hands. You have to stop like this, my child. You are still alive. You are still breathing. You cannot let them win. Lily shook her head, her voice weak. I have nothing left, Mama. Margaret cupped her face. You have me. And you have yourself. That is enough to start over. Lily wanted to believe her. But how do you start over when you've lost everything? Meanwhile, Anna stretched out on the large, soft bed, smiling as she scrolled through her phone. She was now Mrs. Anna Richard Okafor. She had taken Lily's place. She had everything Lily once had. The wealth. The status. The power. She walked around the mansion with pride, wearing Lily's expensive robes, spraying her perfumes, and redecorating every inch to erase her from memory. At night, she lay in Richard's arms, whispering sweet words into his ears. She had won. She was finally the woman she always envied. And Lily? She was nothing now. Anna had always imagined that life with Richard would be glamorous. She thought taking Lily's place would mean unlimited luxury, expensive vacations, and endless pampering. For the first few weeks, it seemed like she was right. Richard showered her with gifts. Jewelry, designer dresses, private dinners in exclusive restaurants. She posed for pictures in their grand mansion, flaunting her new life on social media. She had everything she had ever wanted. Or so she thought. It started with little things. One evening, Richard came home late and found Anna lounging in the living room, sipping wine. She smiled at him, expecting a kiss. Instead, he frowned. Why is dinner not ready? Anna laughed, thinking he was joking. Richard, we have cooks. If you're hungry, just... The slap came so fast she didn't even see it coming. A sharp sting spread across her cheek as she stumbled back in shock. Never talk back to me, Richard said coldly before walking upstairs. Anna stood frozen, her hand on her face. Her heart pounded. Did that really just happen? She wanted to believe it was a mistake, that maybe he was just stressed. But deep down, fear began to creep in. Days turned into weeks, and the man she thought she had won started showing his true self. The slaps became punches. The insults became unbearable. One night, she confronted him about a woman she saw leaving their bedroom. She barely finished her sentence before he grabbed her by the throat and slammed her against the wall. You think you can question me? Richard hissed, his grip tightening. You're nothing. Just like Lily was nothing. Tears streamed down Anna's face as she gasped for air. She had wanted this life so badly. Now, she was trapped in it. It wasn't long before the abuse became so bad that Anna could no longer hide it. One evening, after accusing her of flirting with one of the security guards, Richard beat her so brutally that she lost consciousness. She woke up in a hospital bed, her body covered in bruises. The doctors whispered about domestic violence, but she refused to answer their questions. She was too ashamed, too broken, too alone. Lying in that hospital bed, Anna realized the truth. She had made the biggest mistake of her life. She had betrayed her best friend for a man who was nothing but a monster. Tears slipped down her swollen cheeks as she reached for her phone. She typed out a message to Lily. Lily, I'm so sorry. Please, I need you. I made a mistake. Richard is a demon. Please forgive me. I need my friend. She waited. And waited. No reply. She sent another. Lily, please. I'm in the hospital. He almost killed me. I just need to hear your voice. Still nothing. She tried calling. Lily never picked up. She had blocked her. Anna stared at the screen, her heart shattering. The woman she had betrayed had turned her back on her. And now, she had no one. The morning air was crisp as Lily walked into the kitchen, the aroma of her mother's cooking filling the house. Margaret sat at the dining table, flipping through the morning newspaper while sipping her tea. Lily yawned and sat down across from her, reaching for a slice of bread. Good morning, Mama.
Margaret didst respond.
Her face had gone pale, her eyes glued to the newspaper. Lily frowned.
Mama?
Margaret slowly looked up, her hands trembling as she turned the paper towards Lily. Read this. Confused, Lily took the paper. Her eyes landed on the front page headline. Billionaire businessman arrested for ritual killing of wife. Her heart stopped. She felt her breath hitch in her throat as she stared at the picture beneath the headline. It was Richard. Handcuffed. Surrounded by police officers. His face dark with rage. Lily's hands shook as she quickly read the article. Renowned businessman Richard Okafor was arrested last night in connection to a ritual murder. According to police sources, Mr. Okafor had planned to use his wife, Anna Okafor, in a ritual sacrifice for fast wealth. Reports indicate that her head was to be delivered to a powerful spiritualist, but the police, acting on an anonymous tip, intercepted him before the act could be completed. Investigations are ongoing. Lily's vision blurred as she whispered, Anna is dead? Margaret sighed deeply, placing a hand on her chest. My God. Lily swallowed hard. Anna, the friend who betrayed her, the woman who stole her husband, was gone. And Richard, her own husband, the man she once loved, had tried to sell her life for money. The weight of it all pressed down on her chest. The same fate could have been hers. Lily squeezed her mother's hand, her voice barely a whisper. Mama, that could have been me. Margaret nodded, her voice thick with emotion. Yes, my child. But God saved you. Tears welled in Lily's eyes. Anna had thought she won. She had thought she had taken Lily's place. But in the end, all she had inherited was Lily's suffering. And now, she was gone. Lily closed her eyes, sending a silent prayer for the soul of the woman who had once been her best friend. She had lost everything in her betrayal. And in the end, the man she had chosen wealth over her life. Margaret reached over and held Lily's hand tightly. Let this be a lesson, my daughter.
Envy destroys.
Greed destroys. And the evil that people do always finds its way back to them. Lily nodded, wiping her tears. Richard would spend the rest of his life behind bars. Anna was gone. And she was free. Maybe not happy yet, but free. The end.